This is Siva from the Guindy Times, the official campus magazine of CG, ACT, and SAP. This is our fourth season of Intern Diaries. Intern Diaries is an initiative taken by Guindy Times to talk about the internship experiences of our students who have done their internship recently. Today, we have two of our students, Srihari and Sushrut, who have done their internship at Citicorp this summer. Hello, Sushrut and Srihari.
Hi, Shiva.
Hello. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Srihari, pursuing my final year in B Computer Science Engineering in College of Engineering, Guindy, right now.
Hi guys, I am Sushrut pursuing my B.Tech IT, the final year in B.Tech IT.
How did you guys land such an internship, and how was the entire interview process for you?
So the entire process was through CUIC, of course. Companies kept coming, and City was the third or fourth company to visit our campus. So it went through, the regular process of CUIC, where the company comes and they conduct a set of tests in various rounds. Maybe we might be visiting that later, right? So they conducted a set of tests to analyze people. So that's pretty much how we landed up. Shrey, you want to add up something? Yeah.
Yeah, he summed up like exactly the same process which we have for all the companies. So initially we had an online round and then we were called for the interviews. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll move on to the next question. Have you been targeting Citicorp in particular since the inception of the internship season, or was it as same as all other companies you attended?
For me personally, it wasn't about targeting any companies. So I wanted to improve myself in problem solving that is actually required in the real world, wherever you go, whichever company you go. So I was actually open-minded, open to any company. So it so happened that I landed in Citicorp. So yeah.
Yeah, nice.
A similar experience for me counts because, to be really brutally honest, I was looking for any company that I would get in the first attempt. So it is not specifically of a choice there. So when the company started coming, of course, I think the City was the third or fourth company to come. So before that, we had RCSHIM, SAP Labs, and Amazon came in the middle of the interview around that time. So City was not my target company or something because I didn't even know a company called Citicorp existed before we saw the list. Most of the companies were very new to me. But after it came, when the first test went well, I thought maybe I should try to crack into this and try to land at this company.
Nice to hear from you. Yeah. Third question coming up. What made you stand out from others in the selection process?
With respect to my experience, I feel what I felt was unique in my capabilities was the ability to communicate. So I have a piece of advice for most of the people. The first round, the online test round is the hardest to get. After that, it is mostly about your communication skills and how you express yourself and your resume. My standout feature was I had done an internship in the college in networks, neural networks, and NLP. So I had done an internship which aided me to talk about for a very long time. Also, all the activities I did in the college, joining a lot of clubs, it gave me a lot of content to talk about during the HR. Maybe that would have been my standout.
I think I would really agree with Sushrut. The first round, it's all about technical questions. You need to be there should be some amount of background steps involved. You need to practice for it. So that is required. And then in the technical interview, whichever I had, so for me, it went on for 45 minutes, more than the scheduled time. So actually, I was questioned a lot on whatever I felt as my strength. So they did ask questions a lot on problem solving. I was expecting a bit of DBMS and OS, but I felt the problem solving section was much of it. And one thing which I would really, urge all the people to improve upon is their communication skills, just as Sushrit said. So in the HR round specifically, all they see is how bold and how well you gel on with others. So because moving as a team is extremely important wherever you go. So I guess communication skills play a very vital factor. And yes, so you need to be having a story behind whatever you listed out in your resume so that you can elaborate upon it and then keep the conversation going on. So I felt, yes, you need to focus on this is not an on-site interviews where they can specifically see upon your body language, but still the way you communicate through the online mode, how you present yourselves in the short span of time which you get. So making an impact in the given time is really crucial. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, communication skills play a major role in the selection process. Yeah. Besides the hard work we put in, does luck play a role in getting the internships?
I think I would really agree with that. To a certain extent, for sure. How much ever people work hard, there is a bit of luck involved. But Yeah, I won't say luck is not at all involved. You need a bit of luck, but hard work will take you a long way.
Yeah.
I would definitely agree upon that. I feel the part where the luck, luck factor comes into play is where when you look at a particular question and the first approach you try is happens to be the right approach. So I think that's where luck plays the biggest factor because most of the programming questions are questions where you need to go in different approaches. So in most of the tests, after the test, we'll realize, okay, this should have been approached. So I think luck plays a major factor in deciding whether the approach you try first. If it ends up the right approach, you get the answer in the first attempt. You get a lot of questions, a lot of time for the other question. So I
Well
feel
said.
luck
Yeah.
definitely plays a big role.
Could you brief us on the project that you worked on at Citicorp?
Yeah. So my project was briefly based on making a job scheduler system. So I cannot go into the details, but I can just give out a very brief, description of the project where automation of jobs is what I worked on. Making systems wake up on time and go to sleep on time. This load distribution. This is some of the samples we tried before we went into the actual project. But because of an NDA, I don't think
Yeah.
we are allowed to disclose other details of the project.
Srihari, you want to add something?
So I dealt upon a number of different stuffs during the 8 weeks. Like I got myself into a number of different arenas where I learned a lot of stuffs. But to be general, I felt being strong in the fundamentals. It's not a compulsion, but it will really help you to a very large extent because whatever we learned are like enterprise level applications of what we learn in college. So having a good foundation will make things smoother. And
Cool.
it's not that people really take up entirely new technologies and learn in the 8 weeks. So even if it is completely blank, it's fine. You can learn all the way, but having a good foundation will help.
Nicely said. Yeah. Would you like to work as a full-time employee at Citi someday?
I'm happy to work because as a fresher, what I really focus upon is the learnings which I get, the competitive environment which I feel, and I guess City does satisfy those check boxes, and I feel it's a good place to move in as a fresher.
Yeah, I feel the same too because when you step inside a new environment, right, especially the tech environment, you are very unfamiliar with what's going on. As Sriri said, it was very blank for the first few days because they talk about a lot of terminologies which you wouldn't have heard in your life. Something like Spring Boot and Spring Framework. I was confused as to what it even means. But then you have a set of people who comfort you and say, okay, don't worry, this is what it is, and they sit you down and explain stuff and help you through the path. I felt that was one big reason why I would definitely like to pursue a full-time career at City because of the environment they provide. It is very friendly, at the same time goal-oriented. You have focused goals. At the same time, there is no pressure for you to do it alone. There are a lot of people to help you whenever you have obstacles. So, like, I would love to work as a full-time employee at City.
Oh, cool. Lovely. Ah. How was your work from home experience? Did you face any difficulties or was it smooth?
For me, primarily, I would have loved it if it had been an offline experience because you
Everyone
get to
should
go to
have.
the office and stuff. Yeah, but I didn't have any problems with the work from home environment as it is because we had a lot of support from the tech team all the time, and fortunately, there were no internet issues or something in the place where I stay. The only thing which made it a bit, I would say a bit hard is you need to be a bit self motivated. You need to wake up on time, and because there's no pressure with the working hours, right? You don't step into an office and people tell you what to do. The entire burden of finishing work falls into your hands. There are people who work from, start working at 5 o'clock in the evening and work till 4 o'clock in the morning. They have different adaptable, flexible working hours. In the urge to work in different hours, you must not fall to the trap of allowing the burden to keep piling up, the work to keep piling up so that it affects you later. That was what I learned in my first week, where I thought I'll work after 1 hour, and then after that 1 hour, some other work came up. So that kind of a situation is a bit difficult, but I got accustomed to it in 2 to 3 days. The first 2 days, I felt it was a bit of a difficulty.
Yes. So really, I when I was planning on the internship, one main thing was you get the experience of going to the office, you get to see the campus. So all those stuffs are like completely lost in the last 2 years. But still, this is a really nice experience. They try to give a very good flavor of what's campus life and corporate life specifically. But I felt one major challenge would be like getting to know your co-interns, collaborating with them specifically because I was working alone under my manager, so I didn't have any co-interns. So gathering up, socializing with others was I had to do something on my own. So I was able to manage it, but still that could possibly be a little challenge in working from home. And another thing, yeah, tech team. I did face numerous IT issues, so the IT team were always there, but I had to be behind their back calling literally a lot of times during the 8 weeks. So that was fun, but it could have been better if it was offline.
Yeah, that's good. Could you tell us about a time when you have successfully dealt with a difficult situation during the internship?
Sure, because initially we didn't have a lot of pressure. So they did allow a really good amount of time for us to gel in and see what was happening. Pressure in the sense I felt it was mainly during the end of the internship where you had to get the job done on time. And that's when a lot of IT issues came up. I faced numerous technical issues with my, the frameworks, whichever I had. So contacting the person whom you're reporting to and ensuring that people do have a little bit of inhibition on asking them for each and every silly doubts. If it was like face-to-face conversation, that wouldn't have mattered much, but calling the other person for all the tiny doubts which you have and then resolving it at the end, completing the project within the deadline. Since I started working on a little late, I felt finishing it up was a bit of a rush for me. So I felt the last phase of the internship possibly was a difficult one, but successfully I think they helped me complete it. So enough support is given from the people out there. They know what struggles you face. They know that you are completely new to this environment. So the most important thing is you need to question. Only the people who question will get answers. And don't think it like this is not a really significant question on that, because for us it may not be significant. For them, they are like always ready to help. So you need to be curious and be questioning a lot of stuff, because it is upon us to go and approach and learn a lot of stuff. So they would be waiting to answer us if we approach them. So yes.
I would definitely agree with Srihari about the last few weeks rush that was there. The last 2 weeks of the internship was probably the most pressure-filled week of the pressure-filled like session of the whole internship, because a lot of people started pitching in their ideas at the last in the last 2 weeks. Fortunately or unfortunately for me, I had a co-intern, which meant that we had a total of 8 managers to satisfy. So every manager used to give us different feedback. So one used to say, okay, this is too lengthy, make the PPT shorter. One used to say, why is there no description, add more description. So we had to get them all on a common call and try to figure out the what they call the common sweet spot. So that was a bit pressurized, that was a bit of a pressure. And of course the technical issues, because you end up in a lot of technical issues when you're working with new tech, and these are non-googleable errors. So that's the biggest problem. These are errors that are not even there on Stack Overflow and stuff like that. So even the manager will sit with you and they'll be analyzing, okay, what's happening. So at that time, some errors might take weeks to solve. One of my errors took about 1.5 weeks, 8 days to solve, 8 working days. So it took a big chunk of my time, because the whole day we used to sit with one problem. At the end of the day, you look at it and it's still not over. So that was a bit of a pressure-filled time duration of time till the error gets resolved. You are under massive pressure.
Much understandable. Yeah. Do you have any tips for your juniors who might be listening to this interview to achieve the same heights as you?
I wouldn't exactly go about saying heights or something. We have done a very humble job, I would presume. But one thing I would like to stress upon is be very confident about what you know. And while going through the internship, do not hesitate to ask questions. As Sherry said, even ask the most trivial of the questions, because even they would have faced it. In the interview aspect, only put things that you're very confident of into your resume. So one thing I discovered was, if you can talk about something for 6 minutes, then it means that you know something about it. This is my calculation. So if you know something, if you can talk about something without repeating for 6 minutes, that means you know enough stuff about that thing. So put only such points in the resume, because they'll be drilling into whatever you put into your resume. If you put fancy stuff like machine learning, you have to justify that you know what I mean. You have to justify your knowledge and expertise into the particular domain. Apart from that, I think that's most of it that I feel someone should have told me before. Sri, do you want to add up a few points?
Mm, I guess it was all of it, but one thing in general, not just for this internship, try to explore a lot of stuff because it is in this, either pre-final year, the final year, or being a fresher, there isn't actually a lot of pressure as you grow up in your career. Like you take up more and more responsibilities. So explore throughout the way and don't hesitate to question or be curious. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's amazing. What do you think about this series of intern diaries by Guindy Times? What's your stand on it?
Yes, Shiva. Like right from my first year in college, first year, second year, and right now I completed my third year. Like every time I will really anticipate for intern diaries. I think I didn't miss out on any edition. As a student, like it gave me a lot of insight from the people who interned, their experience, and hearing it from people whom you know in your college, that is even more satisfying than reading anonymous blog posts. So I really thank Indie Times for enriching me with that opportunities in the last 3 years, and now being a part of this, I feel really happy.
Definitely. So even I would like to emphasize on that point because last year was a very difficult year for most of us because we weren't accustomed to this studying from home system. There's a lot of lack of motivation to do anything in general. And Intern Diaries was one of the starting points, which gave me that fire to, we can also do something like this. We can also do, also achieve something. So that gave me a good start. I watched this and was like, okay, people from our college and from our departments have did something. So we are capable of doing something similar. So that gave me a very good start. As a part of the GT, I have never missed any of the Intern Diaries episodes. I watched every episode, if not a few episodes which I watched twice. I've never missed any episode. So as Rary said, I'm very glad to be here uh, on the other side of the interviewer for the first time. I feel very happy.
That's lovely. Yeah, happy to hear about it. That's it. We, the Guindy Times, thank you, Srihari and Sushrut, for your valuable time and patience and providing us with useful details about the internship. Wishing you both all success in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Shiva.